All right, hey everyone. Steve Leslie here. Thanks for jumping on. If you haven't been able to, well, I guess it's kind of hard to hear this, but for those who are having issues hearing, this again, it's going to be hard to do this, but the first slide will dictate that. So anyone that can hear what I'm saying, just understand that that's what that first slide is for. I'll share my screen in a second here, but I just want to thank you for jumping on. Everyone that's on here has expressed some sort of interest in getting paid to hike. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a basic overview of different options that I've found, that I've looked at, some different examples. And then I will get into what it is specifically that I'm doing if you have any interest. But know that you're going to get value out of this either way. So thanks for jumping on, and let's go. Let's do this. Alrighty. I don't know if I can move my camera a little bit. There we go. All right. This is the first slide I was talking about. I'll give people a second to read through it, because if you can't hear anything, what you want to do is you want to dial in at the bottom. So look down here, and you might have to move the screen, move your mouse, or touch the screen. Again, it's kind of redundant if you can't already hear me, but let's move along. All right, so how to make money while hiking. If you have a look here, these are all places that I've gone this year. Phenomenal experiences, every single one, and I owe it all to what I'm doing. So let's get started here. So basically what I did was, a couple years ago, I had just bought a house, because I sat down and I was like, okay, I'm looking at all my expenses, and I'm like, how can I take these expenses and make them profitable? Because I mean, I went to college, so I left college with, student debt and all this, like a lot of people do. And then you look at trying to pay it off, and it's just, it can be difficult. It can take a while, right? So what I wanted to do was get creative in my thinking and figure out ways on how to make my money work harder, so that I could, enjoy life, pay off my debts, and move on with my life. So that's kind of where all this started. And the picture there, that's when I bought my first house here. But that was the question: how do I eliminate my expenses and create passive income? And the short answer to that is build a business that creates passive income and tax benefits. Couple examples: turn your house into an income property, no more housing costs. That is a big chunk and change right there. What I did was I bought a townhouse condo, rent out the upstairs to students. It's right by Fanshawe College. Rent out the upstairs to students. I live in the basement, and eliminate all those costs. Plus, I get to build an asset with it, and it gives me all these tax benefits. So all those expenses that for a typical homeowner is just, eating cash out of your pocket. A lot of that helps to reduce my overall income at the end of the year. The second one: turn your car into an asset with Uber, or allowing companies to advertise with it. This is another thing that I looked at, because your car is a huge liability for you unless you're making it work in something like this. The thing I don't like about Uber is the fact that it's something that you can't build up and walk away from. You only make money when you're working it, right? Allowing companies to advertise with your car is something that I've looked at, but at the time there wasn't enough infrastructure for where I am. So something that I'll look at in the future. The third: find a way to support your hobbies by making them profitable. And that's what we're going to concentrate on today. Again, it takes some creativity, willingness to work outside of your job, and just take your time and focus on this throughout your week and build it up. So again, regardless of what you do, yeah, and I'll go through several examples. So why is it important? You increase your income, right? Number one, that's what a lot of people need. You know, they say most Canadians, most Americans too, they live paycheck to paycheck. And this looking for things outside of what you already do to bring in that extra, you know, $300 to $500 would save a lot of families. So number one, increase your income. Number two, reduce your taxes. I gave the example of with my house, like what I'm able to do with that. Three, gives you more options, right? So if you have a larger chunk of change, and you're able to, you know, hold on to it and be wise with it, then you have more options. You can, if you lose your job and you've built up a nice nest egg, well, then it's not the end of the world, right? If you want to go travel the world and you're bringing in extra income and you're able to set it aside, again, you have more options at your hand, and it reduces the stress, right? Because a lot of people are stressed out because they're like, you know, one payment away from bankruptcy type thing, right? Ability to travel, obviously, for this crowd, you want to get paid to hike. You know, it's got to be something that allows you to travel. And then you get to build assets. So building assets, build up your nest egg, build up your net worth. That'll give you, again, more options, the ability to travel, the ability to do what you want. So just remember, retirement is not an age, it's a number. So just keep that in mind. How to make money in business. Number one, sell products and services, whether it's whether you're renting a house, whether you have something to sell, like products in that, you gotta be able to sell. You gotta be able to. I gotta be able to sell people on choosing my house over someone else's. The second way is to build a sales team, whether or not that's you know, whether or not that's stocks, whether or not that's a group of houses, or if you're actually building a sales team with people. You got to be able to expand, right? Your products and services, you know, you have to believe in it, you have to love it, or else when you're talking about it, people just, you know, you're not going to move people to buy. So way easier if you love it. It's got to fill a need. If you're the only one that loves it and no one else does, well, it doesn't really fill a need, does it? It's got to benefit others. It's got to be profitable. If there's no money in it, then why are you doing it? You know, I know there's good causes and stuff like that, but we're talking about getting paid to hike. So that's why I put that in. And the best thing to create that passive income is to have reoccurring purchases for passive income, or in the case of dividends and that, you know, buying dividend stocks, I guess, and having that month to month. You know, reoccurring purchases. If you rent out a place, that reoccurring purchase happens every month. Yeah, you got to resell like once a year or once every couple of years or whatever. But you know, for that year, for that time being, it's passive income stream. In this magazine, this is I used to have a subscription to this before Darren Hardy left, but that's a different topic. In it, they listed 5 entrepreneurial approaches. I know there's 8 there, but the asterisks are the ones that I have added since then, because this was back in 2014. So there's e-commerce, like an Amazon account, selling things through the internet, franchising. So I guess on a big scale, something like Tim Hortons or McDonald's, you know, that sort of thing. There's network or affiliate marketing, which you can do through, again, like Amazon, or you know, there's different companies, different products and all that. Freelancing. So if you're like a writer or like a editor or something like that, consultant, you know, you can go on a site like Elance or freelancer.com. and then sell your services that way, or just reach out to people in your network, sell services that way. A home-based business is this might not be as practical for being able to get paid to hike, but again, you could have like a daycare. If you're an accountant or a real estate investor, like you can just have your office right at your house, right? Airbnb. I know a lot of people that when they want to travel anywhere, at the very least, they'll rent out their their house on Airbnb. So while they're gone, their house is making the money. And then there's other people that they have like a separate room or separate unit, I guess, strictly for Airbnb all throughout the year. You could do a podcast. You do a podcast, get sponsorships, sell things through that. Good examples with, I guess, if you look up Neil Strauss, Tim Ferriss, those sort of podcasts is how they usually sell through sponsorships. Number 8, endorsements or partnerships. There are websites, if you just look up how to get paid while hiking, there are websites on there that will talk about, you fill out an application or whatever for different brands. And, I'm not sure what all is affiliated with that, but you're able to sell brands through, I don't know, through your Instagram account, whatever. Again, I'm not up to speed on how all that works, but I do know that you could Google right now and find it. So again, many different ways at making this happen, which is why I wanted to share this with you, because just know that there's no one right answer. It's just what works for you. And a lot of people, they're kind of stuck in the normal fashion of things. You go to school, you get a job, you get a house, and you're supposed to retire at age 65, but who wants to do that? So if you can get creative, find other avenues that are fun, you can incorporate that along the way and be able to, again, give yourself more options, more income, reduce your taxes. You just got to think out of the box, right? Get around people that are making it happen. So what is needed? Great product that you love, high demand in the marketplace, low cost of entry, learn from experienced people, ability to travel, ability to sell as an individual, ability to build a sales force without creating competition, and personal growth. Let me talk about building a sales force without creating competition. I put that in because you see this a lot in the real estate world, but it happens in many different areas. Like I see it in the pool industry. People, they'll bring on new employees or new agents or whatever, and they'll train them to be successful, do what they're doing, help them expand this company, right? But then that person, that employee or agent, they start to wisen up and realize they can make more money if they start their own business. And essentially, the original employer or broker then created their competition. So that is something that is taking place in different industries. So it's just something to be aware of, and you want to be smart about it too, right? Personal growth is huge. Personal growth, if you're not growing, you're dying. That's all I gotta say with that. Books, videos, podcasts, they're all at your fingertips. Take advantage of them. So I'll get into kind of more of what I'm doing. So if you have any interest in this, know that I can help you out. But that first section, I wanted to just kind of expand your mind a little bit, right? So what I was looking for, great products to market, something to reduce my traveling expenses, something that incorporates living a healthy lifestyle, stuff that I believe in, right? And again, network with great people. I want to get around great people, getting around great people, building up your network. They say your network is your net worth. Well, I find it true, because if you can get around great people, they just raise your standards. They raise you up to be in more into their circle. So really pay attention to your circle, and constantly grow. Again, we touched on personal growth. So what I found was a company named RX, and they're disrupted by design. This was a partnership. I really like what they have to offer. And again, if it's not for you, again, there's different avenues. We talked about it. So if you are interested, just keep paying attention. So there's seven owners of RX, and Dr. Fred Cooper up in the top left there. This guy is like a brainiac. There's been a lot of things that he's been able to accomplish, and like throughout the world, he's like world renowned. A few weeks ago, I had the ability to go and actually sit down with some of the owners. There's a small group of people. We went, checked it out, and yeah, just phenomenal people. I love getting around great people, and they're absolutely selfless. They have a big vision of where they want to go, and with what they have to offer, it's incredible. So they are around the world in many different countries. What's really cool about North America is they're more of like a startup in North America. They're still doing like millions in sales, but it's still like that small group. So it's exciting. The product philosophy: partnerships with world-renowned nutrition, health, and lifestyle experts, rigorous third-party testing, and the seal of approval. We'll talk a little bit about that coming up. The seal of approval, they have, I would say, some of the highest standards in the industry, and I'll share that as we go along here. Dr. Ginger, you might recognize her from being on the Dr. Oz show a couple times. She's one of my mentors. Being able to meet her and hang out and learn from her is just incredible. She's really knowledgeable. Her background is she's worked in like holistic healing centers, so detox centers, that sort of thing. Just incredible. It's just her wisdom is incredible. How RX works is we operate underneath a brand strategy. So there's many different brands that we're able to bring to the marketplace. For me, if you look in the top left or top right there, you'll see this is the Purity Filter. This is something that I've been pushing hard, because if you like hiking, it makes so much sense, because out of all the places I've hiked, I think there's only been like 2 places where there wasn't a body of water, and a handful of places where the body of water was either at the start or the end of the trail. So it's really handy, filters everything out. I'll talk more about that later, but it's very handy, especially now when we're finding out high levels of lead in our water. Yeah, just not good. But anyways, there's many different brands. Actually, they've brought on more brands in the past couple of months too. And then get into the certifications and whatnot. So when I went to Utah, I was able to go to one of these manufacturing facilities and speak with the main guy that looks after the place, and he was saying that, like, this is in Utah, Salt Lake City. There's a lot of different companies that are based right in there because they have access to their manufacturing facilities. What was really cool is the fact that when RX came on, they actually had to go out this manufacturing facility. It's a third party contractor. They actually had to go out and get more certifications, like between 5 and 10 more certifications just to reach the RX standard. They're very, very strict on, holistic health, natural products, keeping all the bad stuff out of the products. Again, like no artificial flavors, no binders and fillers. I've seen some companies that have like, I forget what the technical name is, but it's essentially wood pulp that's been chemically treated. So yeah, just I love the fact that there's so much that goes into this to keep it healthy and benefit people. They test and retest things constantly there, so it's absolutely incredible. I'm in the middle there. If you have a look, this is when we were touring the manufacturing facility. It was pretty neat. So if you had all the money that you could ever want and all the time to enjoy life, what would you do? Well, a lot of people on here would say I'd travel the world, or I'd hike a lot of places, or whatever, right? But if you had all that, but you didn't have your health, what good would it be? Just ask Steve Jobs. Not very good. I guarantee you that if you had your health and the richest person in the world didn't have their health, they would trade everything they had to get your health. Right? So just something to keep in mind. That is why with RX, we offer the Real Health Solution. So I'll talk about a couple products here real quick. The first one, these two products, MOA and Rejuvenex. MOA, it's got 36 different superfoods from all around the world. When they first created this product, there was no actual like natural preservative. It was all synthetic based. And again, the RX standard, what they did was went out and developed the first ever natural, all natural preservative. So that's found in that product. It's amazing. Rejuvenex, it's really cool because it's an energy booster, but it's done with green coffee bean extract, and there's an amino acid in there called L-theanine, which helps your brain hemispheres basically communicate better with each other. These two products helped me get off coffee. I was able to, I used these products to wean myself off coffee. I was having like 4 or 5 cups a day. Was able to get off of coffee without going through the migraines or the withdrawal symptoms. And then after I was done using the products, I waited like a month just to see, I didn't want to trade one addiction for another. And I can say my energy levels were restored, and it just felt a lot healthier, right? MOA is really good for like boosting your immune system, helping with joints and that. It's not that you're treating anything or preventing anything. You're just giving your body the proper tools. Your body knows what to do with it. So we don't treat, cure, diagnose, or prevent anything. So just keep that in mind. Like I said, we just give your body the right tools. Your body knows what to do. Next is weight loss. Who do you know that could spare to lose a few pounds, right? These drops are really cool because it's all holistic based. The first bottle that you see on the left there, that's what a lot of people call their discipline, because it helps to basically cut the cravings of sugars and all these bad foods. The second one, Accelerate, it helps to rebalance your body and stimulate your metabolism, that sort of thing. And together they help tremendously. I know, you'll see in a second here. At the end of last year, I had ballooned up to 180 pounds, which is not normal for me. And realized later a lot of it was stress related, because if you see December 28th, 2008, I was at 180 pounds. January 3rd, 2019, so about 6 days later, I was down to 168.5 pounds. So what I'm saying is a lot of that I learned was more stress related. So these helped to give my body the proper tools to help rebalance itself and get on a better lifestyle. And then you see me a few months later, and then I was only on it for about 3 months, and then that's all I needed. I just wanted to rebalance myself, get myself back into shape, and continue on. It helped me to alleviate, eating poorly and all that. So Mary Collier, she's lost 175 pounds over the last 5 years with this. And again, she took it for, I think, about a year, and then she's just continued to lose weight. You can see on the left there, that used to be her pair of pants. Yeah, simply incredible. My buddy Vince, he's a lawyer in Michigan. You can see, so this picture on the right was taken in, it was taken in 2018. Picture on the left was taken like a month ago. So, I mean, you can see the drastic difference between the two. But yeah, definitely seeing some success. Richard Hawkins the second, he's lost about 90 pounds. And you can just look at the difference. I know his wife there, she's lost about 50. But yeah, it's completely revolutionizing people's lives. Next is, we'll get into my water bottle. I love this thing. This is like one of my favorite purchases of all time because I'm able to use it on all my hikes. My mom thinks I'm crazy, so I'm constantly like taking videos of different places, of more absurd places, and posting them on my social media, and people just freak out and think that I'm insane. But this thing is really good because when you compare to something like the LifeStraw or the Brita, those are really good for filtering out microbials, which are your viruses, bacteria, and parasites. Those things they'll make you sick, right? But that's about where they stop. Some of them, you can get them where they filter out chlorine, that sort of thing. But what's really cool about this one is that's not where it stops. It filters out the pesticides, herbicides, chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, which is actually, it's a growing concern. I'll talk about that in a sec. And heavy metals such as lead, mercury. If you haven't heard the news, this week they announced that there's about 4 cities that were tested that had higher levels of lead in it in the drinking water than Flint, Michigan did just a few years ago, which is scary because lead, the EPA states that any consumption of lead is dangerous. It's a toxin. It affects your brain. For females, it'll hide in your bones, and then a pregnant female, it'll take those toxins out into and put them into the baby. So it's just a big hazard. And being able to put in some sort of filtration is very, very, you really want to do that, because in Flint, they're seeing behavior changes in kids just 5 years later. They're seeing the effects of this. So yeah, it can be devastating. The pharmaceuticals, talking with a friend of mine from London here, he works at a company that they help to make municipal water treatment facilities. They're probably the best at what they do in the world, or one of the best in the world. And sitting down with one of my buddies, they were saying, as good as their technology is, the one thing that they can't take out is pharmaceuticals, and it's something that's not being talked about. So you think about all the over-the-counter drugs, prescription drugs, all that. Your body doesn't fully absorb it, and it'll push it out, through the toilet system, your sewage system, I guess, and it just gets into our water system, and there's no way to take it out. So kind of scary, right? This is a look inside one of the filters. It was cut in half. This was just tap water. So you see all the the gunk and that sort of thing in there. It's really good for taking all that out. So again, how to make money in business: sell products and services, or build a sales team. There's products and services that help people, get their energy back, lose some weight, better sleeps, or just taking control of their overall health. So there is a need, there is money in it. And again, you can sell products and services with it, or you can build a sales team. You don't have to do both. You could do both, whatever, still make money in it. There's a average earnings report that I can send you, but this is where it gets even better. So RX Travel Rewards. This is probably the most insane thing that I have ever seen, and I absolutely love it. So the travel industry is an $8 trillion a year industry, and there's really only two companies out there that own all these break-off companies, Priceline and Expedia. How they operate, again, take a hotel. Hotel has an empty room. They'll put it on this travel portal where, these two companies will buy it at a wholesale cost. They'll put in their markup and sell it for their retail costs. Well, we have access to that same portal. So how it works is, how it works is anytime you buy a product, that money will go into a travel rewards bank, including taxes and shipping. And that travel rewards bank will help to buy down that public price that you find on the internet. It'll buy it down to the wholesale cost. Furthermore, with this, if let's say that I was a friend of yours and you had this setup, if I was a friend of yours and I said, hey, I want to go to Florida, I got to book a hotel and flights and all that, you could send me, like $500 of your travel rewards dollars, let's say. You send me discounts to use. I use it to book my hotels and everything. So I'm happy because I saved money. I booked my hotel. What the company will do for you is if that instance happens with you, whatever money was saved or used to buy down that discount, the company will give you that back in cold hard cash. So it's really cool because you're building up this base because you're buying products that you love, and then you're getting rewarded, again. So you're getting twice the amount of rewards, not just with your product, but then with travel and discounted travel. So then you then get your money back, which is incredible. This is something that I did last night. Just taking a look here. So this is a spot in Cancun, the Grand Fiesta Americana in Cancun. And if you look, the top one was Expedia, so just over $500 a night. And as you can see, the RX Travel, about $200 less a night. So the discounts are real. A couple nights ago, I was looking at a place in Milan. You can get week stays. That's on the left there. You could stay a week just outside of Milan, as you can see in the mountains, $302 Canadian for a week. The one on the right, that's for a night at a hotel downtown Milan, with your RX contribution goes down to $79 a night with tax. Couple examples for you. This year, I stayed at a DoubleTree Hilton and a Sheraton hotel in one was in Miami, one was in Quebec City. Both of these I booked within 24 hours of using them. The Miami, Florida, I booked the same day because I had screwed up my flight. Both these spots I stayed at for $125 Canadian all in. The Doubletree Hilton, I stayed in a junior suite, and this was like downtown Quebec City. The Sheraton, again, Miami, Florida. Have a look at how much it costs to stay at a hotel in Miami. Yeah, it's pretty not cheap. I was able to do this with through the RX Rewards program. What else is cool? They have a great app. I use it all the time to help you keep track of your business, to send out links and all that to help people buy your products. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely love it. Furthermore, there's an added bill of rights protection. So that just states basically the company can't come in and take over your business. If you have built up a large revenue stream, what happens in some instances is the partnered company will come up with some clause to take your customers and then shoo you out. That won't happen here because, again, they can't. Microloans, you can get loans for different things through your business. Doesn't have to be business related. Investments, you can invest with either with RX, you can invest in different companies and whatnot. Really cool. It's more of like a whole lifestyle approach. And then the RX healthcare management. So again, this is really good for your American friends, people that don't have healthcare, and yeah, it's just that's something that's come on recently. But again, so why am I with RX is because, again, talked about great products, the high demand for the products, your income potential, tax benefits. If you shouldn't just start something for the tax benefits, but it is an added bonus. For instance, like in Ontario, if you make over 47,000 some odd, you get bumped up from one tax bracket to another. And tax benefits are really good because they can help bring that income down past that, put you in a different tax bracket. Something that I was looking at the other day, but just keep that in mind. So ability to make money and reduce expenses while hiking and traveling. Again, out of the different avenues that we talked about, this is just one avenue. So find something that works for you and make it happen. The low cost of entry. Again, a lot of people, they don't have like the hundreds of thousands of dollars saved up for this. So that's why this in particular is really good, because it's a low cost entry. And you get to network with incredible people. I've met incredible people from, all across North America. And, it's, again, your inner circle. You want to get around great people because they help you raise to the next level. But yeah, if you're interested, the next steps would be you can just be a travel customer. If you're interested in, just trying out some of the products and being a travel customer, there's that option too. Or if you're like most people and you want to set up a wholesale account, again, you get the discount on the products, and all that 100% will go back into your travel rewards and help you buy down those travel discounts. So again, thanks for tuning in, and I hope that this has been of value for you. And I hope, if nothing else, it's kind of opened your mind to the many different avenues that we talked about at the start. And yeah, cheers. I don't know how to stop. Oh, there it is. Stop sharing the screen. There we go.